Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Elfi versus Idra. Game 1 in a series, and Idra and Elfi both opening up with a good luck, have fun. So we'll see what this game and what this series will look like. Elfi spawning as the red Protoss player on the top left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Idra on the bottom right hand side of the map as the blue Zerg. Zerg versus Protoss on Tall Dream Altar is really much of a metagame matchup right now, because of the ease or just how easy it is to do a forge fast expansion on Tall Dream Altar for the Protoss player. Zerg tends to be a little bit behind in terms of trying to set up more and more expansions. The third base is blocked by destructible rocks, making it very difficult for a Zerg player to try to establish a third base if the Protoss player does go for that fast expansion with a forge. Now, it's going to be important for Elfi to quickly scout out his opponent and realize what strategy that Idra is going to be executing. Idra, more known as a very heavy macro player, so I would naturally expect a 15 hatchery from him, but with Tall Dream Altar, he could try to change it up just a little bit, perhaps going for an earlier spawning pool, as this is going to be full cross spawns here, so there is going to be a bit of walking distance, so he should be able to do that pretty easily, and there goes the drone from Idra, setting up that 15 hatchery. It looks like it's just going to get there just in time, or just about the right amount of time there, and Idra getting pretty lucky with that. I would say that, I guess, a 1 out of 3 chance where the probe would have been able to harass. The probe does quickly pass by. He will see that there is a hatchery over here, and because there is no forge yet quite from Elfi, it looks like Elfi will be going for most likely an 18 Nexus, but he is perhaps looking like he's trying to go for a forge cannon rush. Perhaps he can force Idra to cancel this one particular hatchery. Also, this pylon being completed, cancels it right there, only losing 25 minerals in that engagement, but perhaps he was trying to hope that Idra would overreact to that pylon placement being there, and he did force a drone to be pulled off. And that drone being pulled off lost really not that many minerals at all, maybe 15, 20 minerals, as opposed to the 25 that Elfi lost in that cancellation. Now we are going to be getting a forge and a gateway. Unfortunately for Elfi, Elfi is currently supply blocked at 18 over 18. He is warping in another pylon back at home, and now going into double gas. This is a rather strange build from Elfi right now, going this heavily into gas when he doesn't have that many workers. You can take a look at his harvester count, 18 harvesters, and 6 of those 18 harvesters will be on gas. So I'm expecting that he's going to be trying to go into a Stargate right after he gets his cybernetics core, and then hoping that he can use a lot of that void ray harassment. Now Idra going to get quickly into that 28 over 28 food count that he's so known for at 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the game, training up 2 queens, getting up another overlord, and he is going to be able to drone his way through. He's currently sitting on 300 minerals, so just a couple spawn larvas, and he will have a very strong economy moving into the mid game. 22 harvesters for each player, but you're going to see how quickly that is going to change in just a little bit, as Idra now going into a macro hatch as well. Now Idra, at, I believe, around the 6-minute 30-second mark, he should be going in for an evolution chamber. Evolution chamber important as it stops both of the main ways that Protoss tries to put down harassment after the Forge Fast expansion. There is, basically, you can either go for Dark Templars or you can go for Void Rays, both of which are stopped by Spore Crawlers. So we'll see what Idra is going to be doing here, as Idra now attempting to clear out these rocks at his third base, but he does have that all-important third hatchery up, so he may be able to oversaturate his bases for just a little bit. Now you see him droning up, 6 drones being trained, harvester count 27 to 31. That's quickly going to get surpassed as Idra gets off those spawn larvas and continues to drone up even further. Now Elfi has not really done anything with his excess gas so far. He's sitting on 200 gas, 200 minerals, and I'm rather surprised that he hasn't gone into higher tech. He is getting the level 1 weapons upgrade, but the level 1 weapons upgrade normally means that he needs additional gateways to really do anything about it. There comes the gateways, now warping in 2 or 3 additional gateways, so it will be a 4-gate, eventually perhaps adding on 2 more for a 2-base 6-gate push with level 1 weapons upgrade. It is going to come at some sort of timing, and a weird Sim City coming in from Elfi, as a probe could actually get trapped right in there. And now going into 7 gateways. Is this 7? Yeah, 7 gateways with that one on the front door. We'll see what's going to be happening. The Cybernetics core warp gate tech about to be completed, and then Elfi's going to get a very, very large round of units going. The rock's about to be destroyed over here. A drone ready to grow up and be a hatchery. Macro hatch over here. We are getting that spine crawler now at the 8-minute mark. And he still hasn't gotten that evolution chamber just quite yet, so a little bit surprised. Normally, I would assume that Idra would have gone for that evolution chamber to make sure that he isn't going to get pressured by any void rays, but he hasn't really done that much scouting either. Excuse me. So, taking a look back into the game, Zerglings are making their way across the map. There is a proxy pylon that's going to try to be set up over here. That's not going to see the light of day, as the Zerglings are very, very well, have good map awareness, but that is a lot of sentries. So Elfi may try to move out with a lot of sentries, as Idra going into his standard Mutalist play. Mutalist play against Stalkers and Sentries, it's really much of a coin flip about who can micro a little bit better, as the Sentries can get that Guardian Shield up and reduce the amount of damage that those Glaive Worms do, from 931 down to essentially with a base armor 6-3 or 6-1-1, a very significant loss there, as the Zerglings are attempting to take down this proxy pylon. Elfi is timing this 7-gate push absolutely perfectly in order to just get a stream of units in. We are getting a lot of spine crawlers though, so Idra playing on the defensive as Elfi now tries to push in. This one queen may get taken down though. That's going to be a little bit of an issue as it does get taken down, and now Elfi going to be able to pick apart some of these spine crawlers, and now there is this one spine crawler. Is it going to get canceled in time? No, it does not. 4 spine crawlers, massive number of force fields, as Elfi looking to just get in and maximize his damage as much as possible. Zerglings are able to sneak through after one spine crawler does go down, and the force fields now trapping the Stalkers and the Sentries themselves. Another round of gateway units could be coming in over here, as the Zerglings are now trying to engage against the Zealots. Where are we going to get reinforcements? That is the problem. Elfi does have level 1 weapons upgrade, but still not enough to handle the swarm, as Zerglings and spine crawlers aplenty. The Zealots at this point need to cut their losses and try to take down the hatchery, at least deal some damage. As you can see that Elfi has lost a lot of units in this engagement. Zerglings now going to try to swarm in, perhaps take down this one proxy pylon, but more Zealots are still warping in time and time again. This pylon will get taken down first. There is still one Zealot over here, this drone, I guess, trying to hide, but the Zealot will catch up to him and find him. The one hatchery has been destroyed, but now that there are Mutalists essentially mean all these Zealots will be dead. So Mutalist getting free damage on a bunch of fleeing Zealots now. Zergling's going to perhaps try to engage. No, not going to even bother to engage, as he knows that those Mutalists can get a lot of damage onto those Zealots without receiving any damage of his own. Finally going to try to engage, but the Zealots are going to cut their losses, try to attack their way through, and then get destroyed. So the Zealots do get taken down. Back over here, Elfi now transitioning into Stargate with double Stargates, with double Phoenix production, double Chrono Boost. That may be a bit of an overreaction, but then again, Idra does like a lot of Mutalists. As you can see that there are Phoenixes in play, Stalkers in play as well, getting in some easy damage there. Zerglings now on the front door, a Photon Cannon, and more than enough to handle that there. As the Mutalists are trying to push in, the Phoenixes need to do some fancy flying in order to fight back here. 3 Phoenixes, 2 Phoenixes now, 1 Phoenix may be left, as the Phoenix only has a +1 range advantage, and now going to continue to attack here. More Phoenixes getting shot out of the sky. Idra doing a great job just destroying the Phoenixes, knowing that he can get a little bit of Glaive Worm chain damage onto probes as well. So probes are starting to fall as the worker counts, 19 worker kills, 38 probes compared to 52 drones, and Idra in a very, very nice economic position now, going to do a bit of retreating, power droning up 14 drones right now. So 14 drones, about now hatching 61 drones as he goes into a double expansion attempt. Idra will transfer some drones over to this third base and eventually this fourth base as well. Idra looking very strong as Elfi now needs to do some very smart engagements in order to try to take back the lead. In comes this one Mutalisk, or the group of Mutalisk now. Pylon looks like it will get destroyed, and oh no, not destroyed. Finally unpowering those two Stargates. Those Stargates have been destroyed. Those Phoenixes need to play it very, very safe. Those Phoenixes do deal 20 damage per attack, and so that is a very, very fast DPS. I think yeah, I'll just say that it's very, very fast DPS, as the Zealots now being forced to take down this own pylon to make sure that no Zerglings were, or as this pylon was warped in, to make sure that no Zerglings were going to run by. Now, double Phoenix production still in play. No weapons upgrade that I can... Oh, we are getting air weapons upgrades, so the Phoenixes will start to be able to do... I think it only hits the base damage, so 22 damage per attack, which is still a rather large number. But Idra now still continuing this power drone, getting up 10 drones at a time. He needs to get a queen up at this hatchery, and then he should be able to quickly get into 200 food in about another 2 minutes. And then at that point, just start funneling units in, almost rallying them into Elfi's base, and Elfi will have a very difficult time trying to stop them. Hydralisks are being trained as well. We saw the Hydralisk then. No Groove Spines research just quite yet. Just a Zerg missile attack, as the Mutalisk looking to come back and get in a bit more harassment, but that is way too many Phoenixes. Those Phoenixes are going to be able to deal a lot of damage. They just need to clump up together just a little bit more in order to maximize their damage. There you go. You do not want to try to magic box Phoenixes, as those Phoenixes are able to get in so much damage against those Mutalisks, just constantly toying with those Mutalisks, and Mutalisks getting destroyed, as this is just the exchange that Idra... I don't know if Idra actually wanted this exchange or not, but Elfi getting a lot of damage there. Taking a look at the losses are now pretty even. There is a Spore Crawler here, but perhaps Idra was actually hoping to free up some food. That's the only guess that I could go there, as now we are going into mass Hydralisk play, and Hydralisk on creep, moving very, very quickly. Movement speed of 3.37. As fast as a stimmed Marine if you don't know your numbers and memorize them like I do. So yeah, Hydralisks do have that level 1 weapons upgrade right now. Also going into the Pathogen Glands, going into level 2 weapons upgrade. So Idra very much on top of his upgrades, as Zergling's now going to be putting pressure on the back door here, but Elfi already ready to respond, has 2 pylons in position and a whole bunch of gateways which will upgrade into warp gates in just a moment. Now, I don't believe we will be seeing another Mutalisk trained up from Idra until those Phoenixes are gone, as the Phoenixes are once again on the move. Just a small squadron, 4 of them in play, as we'll see what's going to happen here. 5 of them in play, as we'll see what those Phoenixes can really do. Phoenixes moving fairly quickly, 4.25, and now getting back home. Army size, this is not looking good for Elfi at all. Hydralisks are now going to group in. You can see Graviton Beam trying to save, or trying to deal a little bit of damage, but the range on those Hydralisks so high, and Elfi saying GG after losing to Hydralisks. So a Zerg unit very rarely ever used takes or causes the victory here, as it was a rather decent sized army, you know, 21 Hydralisks or so with a couple roaches, and Idra is still leaving a lot of units back at home. Roaches, you can see that more units were being trained, 18 roaches, and adding in a Nidus network. And Elfi was just forced to say GG there, knowing that he couldn't get back in even after he destroyed that many Mutalisks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 1 in this series. Stay tuned for Game 2.